have the stock market closing as well. We're like a minute away, so let's bring Doug Flynn in from Flynn Zito Capital Management and talk about the market here for the minute or two we have until the closing bell. Okay, Doug, welcome. So it's what a difference right there. They're ready to close it up today. What stands out to you about yesterday versus today? You know, amateurs might have said, "Oh, I thought it was all clear yesterday," but that's not how these things work, right?
No, you never get it all clear like that.
No.
But today is really, of course, after a day like yesterday, people then digesting a little bit and saying, you know, we're still concerned about a slowdown in economic activity. So a 90-day pause is nice, but it's not a solution. It's just a pause. So as you digest that, you still have the China issue out there. So that's looming, and I think that's kind of weighing in here and saying, we don't have it all clear here at all, and we need to get there. Even start picking off, hey, I got this country at this %. Let's start knocking some of these things down. Until then, you don't have the clarity you need.
All right, I want to get one more thought from you, even though we're past the top of the hour. It's closing bell time. Come back to Doug in a second. Let's check the numbers as Key Bank closes it up, and everybody claps today. It's always funny, right, when they're clapping, even though the market is down by as much as it is on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, let's check the closing numbers and see how they're settling. Always take a few minutes to settle. The Dow, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. And after the big gains of yesterday, the Dow's now down 1,000 points, so it's going to settle much lower. NASDAQ, remember I said this earlier, was up 12% yesterday. I mean, it was a huge gain. Point-wise, it was the biggest gains ever, and percentage-wise, some of the indexes were up the most since the financial crisis in 08. NASDAQ today, though, down 4+%. And the S&P 500, the broad measure of the market, down 3.5%. So, Doug, final thing for you would be basically, there's people looking in on this. As you said, I thought it was interesting the way you said it. You're never going to get it all clear like this. What should we expect? Just choppy up and down type of trading as opposed to one direction type of trading here for the near future?
Well, you do eventually get trends, and then those trends, the word on the street is the trend is your friend. But right now the trend is just sideways and choppiness, and so that's not really your friend. You need a trend either up or down, and you can trade that. In the long run, of course, we're going to get through all this and get some clarity. But you're getting these issues where, like, you have a situation like Amazon, who has more than 50% of its stuff from China, and that stock is getting hit. And then you have Walmart, which actually has about 2/3 of its stuff from within the U.S.
You know, the Amazon CEO, we played the clip earlier, was on TV saying that he thinks the sellers there are going to try to pass along the costs. But it's a lot to pass along. I know some of it's cheap stuff, but it's a lot percentage-wise.
It is. And then Walmart saying, well, you know, we have less than 1/3 from overseas and only a piece from China and Mexico mainly. So they're in a better position. So they're managing that, and their stock is up today. So, you know, when you look a little deeper, it's not just an overall story. You have to start looking at some of the companies and how tariff-related they are and how tariffied we all are, you know, in general. But that's the way I would look at it, is more company by company before you get that trend one way or the other, and hopefully that's back up eventually, which I'm sure one day it will be. We just have to get there.
I actually think it would be a good sign if we're able to analyze it company by company as well, as opposed to just selling everything or buying everything. That would tell us that people are taking a second there and actually looking, hey, who's affected by the tariffs, who's not. Doug, as always, thank you so much. Doug Flynn on that.